Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Pep's Corner. Today, we will continue reading our book, Plant Cells. We will read from pages 22 to 29. Our focus, which is our purpose and intention for reading, is posted on the screen. So go ahead, go grab your book and make sure you have your book in hand and are actively reading and following along. Remember, boys and girls, to reread a second time for comprehension, and you are coming to shared reading prepared. Let's begin. Page 22. What do plant cells do with the food they make? Plant cells are always at work. They have one goal. The plant must survive long enough to reproduce. For some plants, such as an apple tree, it may take several years before the tree bears fruit and seeds. For others, like plants on the tundra, where the growing season is short, seed production must be quick. In the meantime, plant cells take in water and nutrients and make their own food. The healthier a plant is, the greater the chance it has of producing seeds. Although the amount of each element, most basic substance needed for good health changes from a plant to plant, all plants need 9 main elements. They are calcium, carbon, hydrogen, magnesium, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, and sulfur. These elements are found in grains, fruit, and vegetables. What products do plant cells make? Plant cells use elements to make products they need to support their life processes. The products plant cells make are carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and nucleic acids. These are the same products produced in animal cells. Carbohydrates are sugars and starches that are the products of photosynthesis. They are molecules of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen that provide plants with energy. Sugars and starches are stored in the central vacuole. When they are needed, mitochondria take the carbohydrates and convert them into energy. Cellulose, another type of carbohydrate, forms wood-like cell walls that give plants strength. About 1/3 of all plant matter is cellulose. Fats. Plant cells produce fats and waxes from carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Fats have more oxygen and less oxygen than carbohydrates. Many of the oils that humans use in cooking, such as canola oil and olive oil, are plant fats. Plants produce fats because they are excellent energy storage units. When a plant needs to pack a high amount of energy into a small place, such as a seed, it stores the energy in fats. Nuts, such as walnuts and pecans, are seeds with high oil content. Fats also play a role in protecting a plant's surface from losing too much water. Most cacti and other desert plants have waxy skins. The wax keeps water in and protects the plant from drying out. Waxes protect aloe vera leaves from losing needed water. Proteins. Proteins are made from carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sometimes sulfur. Proteins help make up cell membranes, which are an essential part of the cell. Nutrients and water molecules move into the cell through the membrane. The membrane blocks unwanted materials from moving into cells and lets waste material out of cells. Proteins also control how fast a plant cells grow and whether it will produce seeds. Nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are made up of deoxyribonucleic acid, which is DNA, and ribonucleic, which is RNA. DNA tells the plant how tall it will be, the shape and color of its leaves, and the type of fruit it will produce. DNA contains thousands of bits of information about the plant. RNA looks for the exact information the cell needs to do its work. RNA copies the needed information and delivers it to the organelles that will do the cell's work. What is in a seed? Seeds contain hundreds of cells. They have carbohydrates to feed the cells, fats to store energy, protein for growth, and DNA for characteristics. If cells do not grow, how do plants get bigger? Cells divide and form more cells. This process is called mitosis. In many places, mitosis is most active in spring and summer, when plants grow and produce seeds. In autumn, cell activity slows down. During winter months, many plants lie dormant or inactive. In tropical and subtropical areas, plants grow throughout the year. Cells produce at an impressive rate. Cell production uses a lot of energy. Plants need plenty of food to support the growth of new cells. For this reason, young plants must put their energy into producing leaves. Flowers, fruit, and seeds only appear when a plant is big enough to produce the food and energy needed to reproduce. When DNA is replicated, it makes an exact copy of itself. When do cells divide? When conditions are right, cells begin to divide. The first step is for DNA to replicate or to produce an exact copy of itself. Each organelle within the cell must also divide and reproduce an exact copy of itself. Once there are copies of every organelle, they move to opposite ends of the cell. Then the cell itself breaks in two. Two identical cells have been formed. From seed to plant death, this process is repeated millions of times. If you plant a seed and provide the right conditions for growth, mitosis takes over immediately and continues throughout the plant's life. Mitosis provides for growth. It works to replace older, worn-out cells. How do plants produce seeds? Meiosis is a special kind of cell division that only occurs in male and female reproductive organs. In meiosis, cells containing half of the organism's usual amount of DNA are formed. We call these cells eggs in female systems and sperm in male systems. Each cell has only half the number of needed chromosomes. Chromosomes are thread-like structures that carry genes, which are the basic unit that carries the characteristics of plants and animals. This is how meiosis takes place in plants with flowers. The eggs are found inside ovules, which are located in the base of the flower, called the ovary. The pollen or male reproductive cells are in the anthers at the end of the stamen. Bees, bugs, and bats visit flowers looking for nectar. They collect pollen and deliver it to other flowers of the same species. Pollen may also move from flower to flower with the help of the wind. The pollen moves down the tube into the ovary. The sperm for the pollen fertilizes the egg. The pollen and egg form an embryo, unborn or unattached offspring. The two halves provide the combined DNA needed to produce seeds. Are all seeds the same? Seeds consist of many cells. Each cell contains the makeup to create a new plant. It has the products within each cell to support new life. Some seeds have coatings that are hard, like the shell of a coconut, or thin, like the skin of an apple. Some seeds develop inside cones. Other seeds, like those of a dandelion, are tiny, light, and travel on the wind. All seeds, regardless of size or shape, carry the basic DNA within their cells to form a new plant.